the Cloudy Sea, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure. I am Matthew Talamini, your dungeon master. I'm a writer and web developer based in Providence, Rhode Island, and you can find my stuff at MatthewTalamini.com. That's Matthew, Talamini.com. With me are some of my college buddies, David Farrell playing Karaok, aka Gravy, a lizard folk ranger. Say hi so people know who you are and tell them where they can buy your magic cards.
Hi, I'm David. I have a blog called 10,000 Reasons Why the MTG Multiverse is a Terrible Place to Live, and you can find it by opening your favorite search engine, such as Bing or Alta Vista, and typing in the number 10,000 space REASONS space WHY space THE space MTG space MULTIVERSE space IS space A space TERRIBLE space PLACE space TO space LIVE, and then you press enter.
That's
and it always shows up. It's always number one.
Yeah, how are you on the search rankings for that term?
For that term, well, it's one way for you to find out.
Dwight Knall playing Fennetir, an elven cleric of Pan. Say hi so people know who you are and tell them where they can find your stuff.
Hi.
And if you
Don't
would be
look for
so
my
kind,
stuff.
get on twitch.tv/the Starfall Collective and see if we're actually streaming live,
Yeah,
just to make
we're
sure it's
streaming.
working. Thanks, man. Joshua Suich playing Malmer, an elven warlock of
Hey,
Chernobog.
wait. This week I'm sponsored by the Dallas Stars, who are trying to close out the Vegas Golden Knights in the Western Conference Finals.
Hockey.
Joshua Suich playing Malmer, an elven warlock of Chernobog. Say hi so people know who you are and tell them where they can find your stuff.
If your process of elimination isn't working, please take this as an indication that I am, in fact, Joshua Suich.
I'm Joshua Sewage.
No.
you can find my-
I'm Joshua Stewart.
No, everyone else is a liar, and I'm the only one telling the truth. You can find my stuff all over the internet with the cryptographic hash key JSUICH, and you can find my interview on the Bigfoot Society podcast. And but I would suggest going to Reddit and looking up the Starfall Collective Reddit, and you can chat with me about fan theories there.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Fennetir and Karaok.
You said Josh was playing somebody who's somebody, but that person isn't anywhere near us.
Oh yeah, that's true. Josh is probably going to be playing somebody else also.
Gotcha.
Maybe at some point. We'll see what happens. I actually feel like it's quite likely that a lot of the planning that I've done for this episode might go to waste because I have no idea what you guys are even going to do. So we'll see. But I have planned for every contingency that I could possibly predict. However, you've proven quite unpredictable in the past.
Ha!
And so, let's do it. This is a sandbox game. You can go wherever you want, and one of you can fly. Fennetir and Karaok, your improvised shelter, sways with the gentle motion of the cloudy sea. The branches creak around you. Roll me perception checks as you awake in the morning after an uneventful night sleep.
Ooh, natural 20.
Do I? Oh my gosh.
23. You can add a D4.
Do I have advantage on this?
If your thing says that you have advantage on perception checks,
I also rolled
but
a
I don't think it
4 on
does.
my 4, so
Forgot.
27 is
Okay.
my perception.
Fennetir,
Oh no, it's the double. That's right.
you are aware
Oh, that's pretty good.
not too far away of the presence of the Kraken that has been hunting you.
Hey, that Kraken that's been
I
hunting
got
us is
27.
nearby, guys.
Yeah,
We're
both
tied.
of you see exactly where it
27
is.
bros.
Just those checks were so good that you will get advantage on your stealth checks to escape without being detected by it. But it is as you wake up, you scan around, and you've had some fairly dangerous encounters with this particular Kraken in the past couple days as you've been traversing just the two of you through the cloudy sea on your way to the town of Three Ways. It came really close to getting you, but your ranger lizard man Karaok is so stealthy and just has such incredible woodcraft in the cloudy sea and such expertise at hiding that not even one of these one of the most powerful and dangerous monsters in the entire area is able to pose a serious danger to you, although it came close. But there is one very close by.
We should get out of here.
Yep, seems good.
It has sort of wrapped its tentacles in a resting posture around some of these
How far away is it?
trees. Oh, it's like 100 feet away.
Can you?
What?
Yeah, how did it get that close? My passive perception is 18.
Yeah. That's... It just, it's been snuffling around during the night.
Quietly.
I thought we were trading off watches.
Yeah. So
who was the last watch?
Yeah, no, you, in that case, you notice it on your watch. It's just
And
snuffling around. It doesn't
100.
know that you're here. This is, the situation, as far as you can tell, is something like if you were to, for instance, leave some cheese under a dirty shirt in your bedroom.
This is coming from Matthew Talamini's personal experience.
That's never happened to me, but if it were to happen to somebody, you might not be able to find exactly where the thing is that you smell. But you know it's
Something.
It's nearby. The Kraken has a similar sense for you.
I don't know how this thing is able to keep pace with us. Well,
How far are we from Three-Way?
You are 2
think we have
3-hour
2 more.
flights.
yeah. So we need one more stop before we get there. I am going to. I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace on us,
Woohoo!
so that we can pass without trace.
I did just give you advantage on the stealth check to get away.
I'm
Nice.
taking that too.
Cool.
Let's do I hop on your back before or after you turn into a Quetzalcoatlus?
Probably after.
Gotcha.
Um,
Maybe when
so-
you take off, you should go kind of away from the Kraken.
That seems. I like that idea. I will do that. Should I roll a stealth check?
Yep. Go ahead and roll me up those stealth checks.
Boo! I
I
got a 5 for my first one. 16, nice. Let's see what that adds up to.
you get plus 10 from pass.
Gotcha. And if you would like to add a D4, you can. So
So-
I'm at 32.
What does I'm sure we've narrated this before, but just to help set the scene of this first action in the episode, what does it look like what would a Hollywood video camera watching Karaok and Fennetir as they cast Pass Without Trace and then sneakily get up to the top of the canopy and escape?
It would
What
just be showing canopy And then all of a sudden, BAM! There's a Quetzalcoatlus coming out of it.
And
With
then,
an elf on his
bam! The
can't see
Quetzalcoatlus is gone.
back.
Yeah, okay, so it's unbroken white mist. One moment. With with an indentation where a sleepy kraken rests after a long pursuit.
Looking for some cheese under a shirt.
And suddenly, not too far away from that kraken, boom, there's a dinosaur that is the shape of a very strange fighter jet crossed with a giraffe, crossed with a stork.
You don't hear anything, though.
You hear
It just
nothing.
appears.
Yeah, sorry for the clap. That was more of a visual clap.
It's more of a gentle spreading of the mist. The trees don't even creak, and you're up and you're away.
The mist awakens to us.
Oh, hello there.
What was that roll
a
for?
natural 20
To do what?
for my stealth check,
Oh,
Nice.
which means I got a 39 total.
yeah, that's a godlike stealth
With a-
roll.
Natural 20.
So actually, you just
If I
see
see
an
this
elf
Kraken again, Matt,
fly off.
if I see this Kraken again,
I mean, if he's tracking us with magic, he can track us, right? The Kraken has magic means to track us, I guess.
Yeah.
so we're getting out of here.
Cool. So you are flying up in the sky. It is.
Twice as high
I
as a
imagine I have
butterfly.
a pretty good idea of whether that Kraken is
Yeah.
following us, and if it is, how to avoid it, because I just got a 39 on my stealth check.
Oh yeah. You have. By the time the telltale divot in the mist is out of sight, it still hasn't moved.
All right.
Nice.
You
Got away
pass.
clean.
You seem to have gotten away clean. It doesn't. You don't see any stirring. And as you know, this Kraken, as it's been pursuing you, has been breaching. It has been going up above. So when it's pursuing you, you tend to be able to see it from a pretty good distance away, and you don't.
Don't see it.
What is my... double check. What? So what? I probably have a... What's its... What's its movement speed?
The Kraken.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to know?
How
Uh,
wise is it?
It is not as fast as you are. They're sort of blimp-like.
Okay. So
But-
I mean, over several hours, we ought to be able to outpace it pretty well, shouldn't we?
Yeah, you have so far been able to. Anytime that it's a chase, you outpace it. It seems to be able to travel long distances with either none or very little rest. It seems to have a great deal of endurance,
And it
which
can
would make
track-
sense.
And it can track us over that distance?
Seems to be able to have tracked you from a very great distance.
Even if we're not, we're not landing in the canopy for for hours.
That's what it's been doing.
Well, we're almost home.
Yeah, we're flying.
Maybe it just assumes we're going to three ways, and so it's heading that way.
It's been to three ways before. Its favorite bars and three ways.
The Kraken.
It's not actually following us. It's just it really needs.
Since these Krakens,
Really, really thirsty.
since the Krakens are for the most part weightless, like if you were to put one of these Krakens on a scale, it would end up weighing 80 pounds, 90 pounds or something. Like they're imbued with levy throughout most of their mass. So for such a huge creature, it weighs very little, and it actually consumes very little energy for it to move around, for it to travel. Fennetir, you're flying through the sky. The giant wings of your friend below you flapping.
Friends.
But suddenly you hear in your ear just behind you, psst, psst.
Who is it?
It's Pan. He's sitting behind you, or an illusion of him is. Karaok, you do not feel the weight of a second passenger, but Fennetir...
Can I make a magic check or something or whatever? See if I...
A religion check? I mean, you can make a religion check.
All right.
Is that hindered at all by his Quetzalcoatless form?
No.
No.
Religion check. Oh boy. Oh, that is a 14.
You don't notice anything.
Cool. Let's
This is fun, says Pan,
Yeah.
looking down.
Are you sending that Kraken after us?
Since when do I send Krakens after people?
I don't know. I don't know what you do.
There's only one god in this region who trains Krakens.
Who's that?
Guess. Listen, I did
Actually, I just don't know.
I
Oberon?
was like poking around a little bit, doing a little thinking, meditating. You were asking me about your lizard friend, who's apparently part dinosaur here, which is pretty wicked.
Yeah, don't you want him on your team?
Wouldn't mind it. Is he open to the religious life?
I don't really know what he's open to. He likes lizard folk.
Lizard folk are okay. They're a little uptight for me. Listen though, if you want to help him, best thing you can do, he needs to make peace with Palor.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
That's number one. I tell you, number one. Second best. Have you noticed that he's mad?
Like crazy mad or angry mad?
I mean, like both, but he's got like a disease. It got put on him at some point. A madness. There's a madness on this dude.
He talks about being dead a lot.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds like it. Second best, you might. It's sort of your job. See if you can take care of that. If you can't handle it, you could take it to the priests at the Temple of Oberon. They're good for curing all kinds of diseases and madnesses and conditions of this sort. But if I were you, if I were to take this guy with all his like Palor stuff that's going on and drag him into the Temple of Oberon, I wouldn't let them find out about the Palor connection. Just try and keep it on the DL.
But if they're like trying to take away his madness, would they figure that out?
Wearing a collar.
I don't.
With Palor's mark on it.
Yeah. Just, it could get complicated. Maybe buy him one of those Elizabethan ruffs. Have you seen those?
Yeah, with lizard folk ruffs.
Yeah.
He's got his own.
Yeah, cover it up with that. I don't know. Get him a cloak. Listen, I gotta go. I got other stuff to take care of, but I'm trying to be your bro here. You wanted to know about the lizard guy. I can't do a lot for you in this regard, but get him and Paylor right. That's what I'm saying. He burps, and he holds out his fist for you. Bop. Fist bump, and then he vanishes. Poof.
Oh man. Well, I have a spell called Calm Emotions, which I've been told may help with this. The problem with it is its duration is 1 minute. So I can cast it.
It's going to be a
take
pretty
care of
cool
all
minute,
this
bro. Pretty
for
cool
1 minute. And
You can.
also, I'm really bad. Like, my modifier is so low that it's not a difficult check to you know, take care of. But hey, I'll give it a shot. I'll try it.
Well, what I mean.
Calm Emotions.
Okay.
Bam. So
You're
now,
you're not gonna say anything to him. You're just gonna cast it on him.
yeah. See what happens.
Are you gonna try and hide the fact that you're casting a spell on him, or are you
Nah.
just gonna? Okay. Hey,
I'm just casting it in this sphere.
hey, Karaok, your buddy on your back casts a spell on you while you're flying.
I'm casting a Calm Emotions sphere. Maybe I'm getting a little of that action too. Maybe I want my emotions
No.
calm.
Karaak flies through the power of sheer rage, you fool.
Well, maybe we'll fall out of the sky. You have to make a charisma save. CHA, is that charisma? Yeah.
What's the DC?
That's not
Well,
so
you
bad.
tell me what your dice are, and I'll tell you if you pass.
Do I get? Do
It's
I
embarrassed.
I've still got Pon's blessing, right?
No, you do not get Pon's bless. I'm not going to give you. I have to give that to you one at a time.
Dang it.
Pawn giveth and pawn taketh away, but mostly pawn
Right.
taketh away.
Yeah, apparently. Oh, ouch! That's a 5.
Woohoo!
I'm feeling very relaxed.
Yeah. Oh man, you like that little pocket of space?
Karaok, for the next 1 minute, you are aware that you are not actually dead.
Wait, what?
For a minute after the spell takes hold, for the duration of the spell, you are aware that you are not actually dead.
Well, I know I'm not actually dead.
No, that's the madness. You don't know you're not dead. You're under a madness condition.
I think I died
Yeah.
and then came back to life.
No. Oh, well, maybe you rationalize it however you want, but you are aware now that you did not actually die or come back to life or any of that stuff, that you were just confused.
Do I remember that after the spell wears off? Remember being aware of that?
Yeah, but the madness will reassert itself and you will
Okay.
once again genuinely think, so you'll think, oh man, I was confused for a minute there. I thought that I hadn't actually died.
Yeah, I think 1 minute is probably not long enough for the
Yeah, no.
after it wears off. I think he's just not. He would need to be
But during this minute,
dispelled for longer. Like it's the.
do you have
it would-
any sort of conversation? Venator, are you going to ask him
No.
anything?
I'm in bird form. I can't talk.
Yeah, he can't talk.
No. Maybe we'll
Oh.
try this again once we get to 3 ways.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would take it would take a lot longer than a minute for him to actually process that. So
Like 2 minutes?
I don't know. He just kind of gets a little yeah. He's kind of like and then slowly sinks back into
From the highest that you can fly, at this point you're able to catch sight of 3 ways in the far off distance. but it is too far to go without taking one level of exhaustion unless you rest at least one more time before you get there. So, in order to rest, I will need you to go ahead and make me a survival check to find a good spot to rest.
Barf.
Survival or stealth?
Survival. To find a spot.
I got a
Okay.
total of 7 with my guidance. You can take the D4 guidance if you want.
Thanks.
Dwight, maybe you should turn yourself up a little bit. You're sounding a little muffled in your microphone to me.
I got a 28.
I don't know how
Oh.
to turn myself up.
Okay. Don't worry about it. Awesome. Yeah, you what you find is like a perfect sort of ring of trees. What it looks like, it's almost like a redwood fairy ring, if you've heard of these, where maybe a long time ago there was one really, really big tree, and it died, and all its children kind of formed a perfect circle where it used to be.
No weeping.
Well, no, but they've all sort of, in the empty space that the bigger tree left, like this ring, the cloudy sea sort of holds itself together. So this ring of trees has sort of come together in almost like they almost touch. It's like a perfect circle of very similar sized trees with very little gap between them. So you can fly down into this sort of cylinder in the center, in between all these trees, and it's just a real nice spot that's very closed off, almost like a wall between you and the rest of the cloudy sea. This is like a,
Could a squid fit in here?
no,
Woohoo!
and well, let's see.
Go there.
Yeah, you don't detect. This is like this is the kind of shelter in the cloudy sea that's very, very rare, because it just looks like trees. It looks exactly the same as everything else, but then there's just this one little cylinder of just empty space with branches crisscrossing in there that you can just. Nobody can see you. Nobody can hear you. You're closed off from the rest of the world. Like
And
this
these
is a
trees,
1 in a
can hear
million.
you Scream.
That's true. Maybe nobody could hear you scream. But this is a really hard find, and only a very, very high roll at your survival check in the cloudy sea could get you a hidey hole like this. It's epic.
Nice.
You feel very safe.
Can we stay there for a long rest?
If you want.
We
stay
don't
here.
need to long rest.
You
We
don't.
already-
You don't even need a short rest. You just need like there's no name for it, but just like a flying rest. Just because
Yeah.
you're not allowed to fly for longer
Right.
than 3 hours straight.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna do the flying rest.
Okay.
And
Cool.
then continue on after that.
As you take off again, I'm not even going to make you roll a stealth check. This hiding spot is so good to take off.
Sweet.
And nor do you have to roll the acrobatics check that you would normally have to make to descend into the cloudy sea. This is a really good spot.
So we take a quick 15-minute whatever.
An hour long rest
Hour
for
long.
yeah, just an hour long perch for Dave to rest his wings, for Karaok to get his strength back before another bout of flying.
Can I cast Calm Emotions as a ritual?
Does it have the ritual tag?
No.
Then you can't.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, so you can cast things with the ritual tag, not as rituals.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they consume spell slots as usual when you take whatever the normal time is. They'll have a time listed, like 1 action
Yeah.
or 10 seconds to cast or whatever. If they have the ritual tag, you could also take an hour and do a ritual to
Gotcha.
cast them.
Well,
Which
I
would
wish I
not
had a
cost you the spell slot.
that calmed emotions is a ritual.
Sorry. You're gonna...
Ceremony.
Anything special you're gonna do while you're in your hidey hole? You're just gonna
Dave,
rest
would you
and
like
then
to
take
come
off.
of age?
What?
I can have a coming of age ceremony.
You could.
Think
You
we're
could
good.
also get married.
Nope.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
How's your alignment? I can change your alignment to your original alignment.
My alignment is the same as it's always been.
Chaotic.
Neutral. Pure neutral. I don't have anything I need to do. Just
Okay.
In that
Let's
case,
get out of here.
tell me what you would like to do.
leave.
Sweet.
Go to 3 ways.
Head for 3 ways.
Yep.
You hop back up into the air as you were. You flap.
Okay.
And Fennetir pretends to be a seagull for some reason. And as you near 3 ways, looking back, you do see that kraken breaching just way back there, though. Really far
Aha.
behind you.
And it probably won't come into 3 ways. Because that's where all the Kraken hunters are.
If it does, it's somebody else's problem.
True. I mean, as long as we're not too close to the shore.
Yeah.
So what you see as you approach 3 ways is as you come closer to
Yeah.
3 ways.
I imagine. So as we approach, I think. Well, probably like. I mean, I don't want to just fly up to the city as a giant bird.
That might be a good
Yeah.
idea.
Can we land down the peninsula away
Yeah, like probably like loop around a little bit and.
Sure. I mean, let me
come in,
narrate a
come
little
out.
bit for our listeners the geography. That off to your left is the place where the ocean falls off into infinite space below you, and that has been getting closer and closer to you as you approach 3 ways. And similarly, the land, which is in front of you in sort of a peninsula to your straightforward and right, has been coming closer and closer. It's a sort of spine with a wooded area, and the great swamp off to your right, sort of the water and vacuum and forest swampiness. But that all comes together at a point where the cloud line, where the water, the edge of the sea, meets the land and becomes an actual beach. And also where the cloudy sea, which is the trees, meets the land and becomes a forest. And that all happens at where those 3 lines cross is at 3 ways. So you can definitely circle around to the east, and you'll be able to land in the forest on dry ground and make your way into 3 ways from the east, if you want to do that.
Let's do it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, so 3 ways from the distance looks normal. There are cloud ships. There are regular ocean-going vessels. It's not destroyed or anything. There's a normal amount of smoke. You come around to the road. How far out do you want to land? How wide do you want this circle to be?
We don't want people heading out to hunt Quetzalcoatlus.
Do you want to
Yeah.
look like a speck, or do you want to look like something big flying to the watchman? Like, what do you want to? How close?
Can you do pass without trace and then the watchman can't see us?
Could do that.
I think you're thinking of invisibility.
Oh, well,
Yeah, if you don't have anything at all around you, pass
Uh,
without trace is not going to be any help.
how about spec?
Okay, so you're at a
Probably
pretty
be
good
safe.
distance. You, if you're gonna
It
appear
could
to
be
be
a tiny bird really close.
Find some nice
or
wooded area to
an
land
enormous
in,
bird far away.
transform.
okay,
And once I get transformed, though, like, I don't, I'm not trying to hide at that point.
Am
Cool.
I no longer allowed to ride on your back once you transform?
Correct.
so it's not hard to find the road. Do you want to? You probably want to find a little grove to actually land in. You don't want to land on the road and transform, I guess.
Correct. Yeah.
But as a
Like,
ranger,
yeah.
this is no problem.
Yeah.
It's easy for you to find a hidden spot in the woods to transform yourself back into a lizard
Yeah.
man. And then, so the woods are very elven here. Fennetir, this is when you step onto solid ground again, you feel a palpable physical sense of relief at
Nice.
being back on the ground, back in a forest, a real forest, not a creepy, like, glowing mist forest
Yeah.
with stars underneath of you. Like, there's
That's unsettling.
it's the cloudy sea. You've been subject to an extended period of extremely unsettling environment, and you're back home now. It's almost like just the whole landscape is just a big sigh of relief to you. There are familiar birds twittering in the trees. There are squirrels rolling around and fighting over acorns in the undergrowth. Rabbits flee from you into their hutches. There's a
They
cardinal
have
over
hutches.
there. They don't have hutches. They have
rabbit
warrens.
farm.
Sorry, it's a
Yeah,
warren. It's a rabbit warren. You make your way to the road.
Yeah.
It's a dirt road, but it's well maintained. Somebody comes through every year or so and gets the fallen trees away and patches up the ruts and puts some gravel down to make it easy because carts come this way. Looking east and west, you don't see any carts now, but you would expect on this road that if you were to hang out for long enough, you would find somebody who's, carting firewood to three ways or
Ooh, we
or-
could catch a ride, man. We should catch a ride.
Yes.
if you want. I think you're like,
Croc.
I don't know, a mile away. You're as a to be a spec to the watchers on the lighthouses of three ways, you have to make
Everyone froze.
you had to make a very big circle.
Yeah.
So I think you're about a mile away.
A mile away.
Yep. But that's not a bad walk.
So, yeah. Well, when they reach the road, Croc turns to Fennetir and says,
I have business here in Three Rays. Let us
Yeah.
meet again in the morning.
Okay, I'll see if I can find those goose nights.
That is fine. I will meet you at your temple, the temple of your god Pan,
Okay.
tomorrow, and then we may continue.
I hold up the little arrow dangly thing and say, heading this way.
Good.
Awesome.
So from here, I'm not sure what the exactly how Krog would go about doing this, but he wants to send a message to the guild,
Sure.
which I'm sure he has both the means to do this.
He sure does.
They wouldn't have sent him out here without a way of doing that.
Yeah.
So he's going to do that.
So what you're going to do is, in about the center of Three Ways, there are 4 inns, and any one of the innkeepers would be able to help you out here. There's an outpost of the Lizardman Rangers in one of the interior elven towns, and it's not really couriers, but it's possible and totally normal to put a package or a letter on one of the carts going down the road to that town.
Right. They probably have, like they've...
And you know who that person is, who's your contact.
Yeah, they probably have a guy that they use.
You've got... Well, you don't have a specific person to act as courier, but any cart will be willing to carry a package to that town and drop it off at the Lizardman Ranger station.
Okay. So he's gonna send a message, and
I mean, for a small fee, like 1 silver or something, nominal fee for a big adventurer like you.
Okay. He's so the message gives a general recounting of what's happened. Saying I got to Nebulaster's perch. This is what he told me about the star. Just general information on that. A few other points he adds. He gives a brief account of his encounter with Palor, and very firmly says Palor is not to be trusted. Our people should have no dealings with him. And if and he tells them about also he warns them that Palor might try to trick them by taking on the shape or form of dinosaurs and or lizard people, to deceive them into doing stuff, whatever. He mentions
you would probably also include either a copy of or the original of the materials that Nebulaster gave you.
Yeah. Include that. He mentions his he mentions that while Palor can't be trusted, Nebulaster can, and Karok has extended friendly relations to Nebulaster and the Cloud Giants.
Good.
He also mentions that he can't. He mentions as well that the lizard folk should have no more dealings with Malmer. He's not a reliable courier.
Ouch.
He didn't fulfill his job. Karok got to Nebulaster's perch by other means.
Do you explain your name change?
Yeah, he mentioned, and he also mentions that through some strange god sorcery or whatever, Palor killed him and brought him back to life, and also turned him into a giant dinosaur bird. And so he has been he and so he said, and with that he kind of in explaining that he explains that he's not going to like, in light of all that, he's not going to return to um to
The homeland.
the homeland or lizard folk society until he has that resolved. He doesn't want to risk drawing Paylor's attention back there. So he's either going to get that resolved or, whatever. And he also wants to stay. He also thinks that staying in this area at least for a little while longer, he might be able to find out more about the star. So, yeah, I think that's basically it.
Okay, so I think we maybe skipped ahead a little bit in time, but you're composing this in your head, or maybe
Yeah.
jotting down notes as you walk along the road.
Yeah.
When you approach Three Ways from the east, actually the first thing that you encounter is the Temple of Pelor on your right. What this looks like is almost like a farm. It's a place where people are usually working. You can see stables. There are several forges that seem to be inactive right now. And outside, near the under some tents that they've set up, some like big sort of party tents, there are these big long tables set up with just tons of food on them. And you see a bunch of Palorites, which are just normal elves,
Paloronians.
laborers, sailors, charcoal burners from the forest, miners, farmers, all kinds of, working class people, peasant class people have gathered on these tables and are sort of feasting and chanting Palorian songs and stuff. I'm supposing that you probably just pass this on by, and
Take a wide berth.
you're on the other side of the road as you pass this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finatier probably notices an increased tension and or maybe if he does.
Josh's character is among those feasters. Tell us about your character, Josh.
Priapus, Paladin of Pelor, takes his job very seriously, serving the most mighty and honorable of gods, Pelor.
What's
He's
your
far
name?
better than all the other gods. You'd have to be a fool to follow one of those lesser ones. My
What's your name?
job is to bring vengeance upon the enemies of Pelor, bring in those who he deems unjust, and to participate heartily and mightily in the feasting of Pelor so that he might show his favor upon us.
What's your name?
The kid,
Priapus, Paladin of Pelor.
This is a children's.
the kids don't need to know what that name is. We don't need to bring it up. It's a joke for the adults.
Okay. I guess. I'm too young for that.
Josh is going to make it work
Okay.
somehow.
I
He's
will,
brilliant.
I get wigged out by Pelor's temple and also give it a wide berth. I do not notice any sort of increased tension because I feel it also.
Too
Well,
busy dealing with
Not
your-
only is my belly stiff and turgid, but the long, straight, stiff arm of Pelor extends across the whole of the island, and I would appreciate the opportunity to cast my long gaze across the road and see if I notice the lizard man of whom I've been recently given word.
That has not happened.
Oh, okay.
Right now, you're just feasting, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
When you Karauk, you and Pon are, I suppose, walking along the road. The next thing that you come to after the sort of Pelor party zone is the inns on the left. So this is your opportunity to write your letter. You're going to go into the inn and talk to the innkeeper, buy a sheet of parchment, or unless you already have some, and get to writing.
Yeah.
It's going to take you a little while to prepare all this. You have a pretty long report to give.
Yeah.
So
They'll probably write it in code. They probably have a code.
they have a lizard person ranger code.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Ranger code.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So
And shorthand. It's also a shorthand.
cool. It's going to take, but it is going to take you a little while.
It's going to take them a while
to arrange.
But it's also they're not. Well, oh wait. Their names are really long. Maybe they do like to write very long. Interesting.
It's going to take you at least an hour, I would
He
say.
knows what he's doing.
So, Fennetir,
He's gonna write it in code.
when you leave your companion at this inn, the Temple of Pan is just about directly south, and in between the inns and the Temple of Pan, there's sort of like a twisty maze of ramshackle hovels where lots of poor people live. They're mostly empty at this time of day. People are either working or they're at the Pelorian feast.
Gotcha. So, but I know my way around here, right?
Oh yeah, you definitely know your way around here. You can go where you will.
I think I'll head over to the Temple of Pawn and see if any of the larger, more senior clerics are around.
While you're walking through the town, you notice you're very, very perceptive. Just in your base, whatever it's called, passive perception. There's a rumor or like a buzz. The town is a buzz. Something's going on down by the wharfs. People are talking about it. Did you see it? What's going on? I don't know.
What?
They say something's going on by the wharfs. You hear the muttering, people whispering to each other, talking about each other. Hey, did you hear?
I didn't hear. What's there to hear?
Somebody says, "Oh, there's a sea battle, or a
Ooh.
cloudy sea battle."
Like what kind? Like ship to ship, or kraken to ship, or what's a coatless to kraken?
I don't know. I'm going to sea. I'm going there right now.
Okay, I'll go with you.
Okay, you and your new friend, Spartron 5000.
Spartron 5000, I love you.
But you have to spell out 5000 with a lot of apostrophes and the wrong vowels, so it looks elven.
Gotcha.
Like 5 is FAEPH.
There's at least 10 apostrophes in there.
And some dashes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's apostrophe dash. That's an exotic one.
Apostrophe dash apostrophe.
Oh, very high class. This is a princeling, a lordling.
My entire name is inferred.
So,
All punctuation marks.
you make it to the wharves, and people are like sort of climbing up on the lighthouses to get a better view.
Well, I know that there's a lighthouse over by the Temple of Pawn, so I could go climb that one.
There is, and there aren't actually as many people there because that is the low rent district. So, yeah, you're definitely able to get up sort of part way up on this lighthouse. You can't actually go in the lighthouse. It's sort of, no access unless you're a guard. But
The doors are locked.
yeah, doors are locked or whatever. It's just, if you went in there, the guards would be like, "Hey, what are you doing here? Can I help you, sir?" Sort of thing. So yeah, you get a pretty good view, and what you see is not very far away. There is a kraken hunting vessel that is doing battle with a kraken within sight of the town.
Is it my Kraken that I recognize?
Make me a nature check.
Nature check.
Yeah, to tell the difference between different animals.
Upon guide my nature check. Ooh. So it's a 2, but I get a -1. So it's a 1, but I'm going to roll my guidance. So it's a 3.
You're like, huh, there's a kraken there. I wonder
even
if that
sure
has
it's a
anything to
Kraken?
do with the kraken that we fought a couple days ago.
Hey,
That's
I'm just
funny.
glad that I recognize that it's a Kraken.
You recognize that it is a kraken. No, but
Next level.
even though you're not able to see any distinguishing features of this kraken, you can put 2 and 2 together. They don't usually come this close to 3 ways.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, what's his name's going to be excited to hear about this.
I
say.
sense a Jonah moment coming on.
I climb down and head into the Temple of Bond.
Cool. When you are about to enter into the temple, you notice one of the unpleasant Karenites lounging
What?
obviously by your door.
I don't like this.
This is a guy who's really weird. They're creeps.
Aren't they all?
They're such creeps. This one has an ear right in the middle of his forehead.
Wait, what?
That's not usual.
It's not. And
Is
he's
it an
done
elven
it.
ear?
He's done it on purpose. Yeah, he's got 2 big elven ears one on each side of his head like normal. And then he's got another one, boom, like a big teardrop right in the middle of his forehead.
That ain't right.
It's
Is
just
it part of
looking
him?
right at you.
Or is he like
The ear is
glued, or-
looking right at him.
Yeah, the ear is just like a... This
Can I
is...
get past him without
Seriously sketchy.
acknowledging him?
He's like, hey, man.
Hey, Eerie. You're eerie.
Welcome
Go back to your temple.
welcome back. Care to chat?
What do you have for me?
I heard you were palling around with a lizard man.
What's it to you?
Where's he at?
What's it to you?
I just want to talk to him.
You're so weird. Why would I introduce you to anyone?
Yeah.
You understand that when people introduce people to people, it reflects on them.
So what I'm hearing is that when I burned all my bridges with you a couple months ago by like with that song we were doing, that
You burned
there
so
were
many
consequences to that.
bridges. It's not just the song. I had forgotten about the song. It's the ear in the middle of your head.
he steps back. He's like, dude, chill out. I love this ear. Do you know how much
Really?
better I can hear you with this ear? It's awesome.
You get like triphonic
Randy, I know for a
sound.
fact that that's vestigial, okay? Your ex-girlfriend told me that.
He's like, fine, dude. Okay, whatever. Take it. Whatever, jerk. And he goes off. This person's name, by the way, is Hobo.
Hobo?
Yeah, he's got some kind of... He's sort of the local priest of Karen.
Spelled HOA hyphen BOA.
HOABOA.
Hyphen.
Yeah, sure.
Hyphen.
Okay, so can I go in my temple now?
Yeah,
I'm
you go
not-
in.
and head in.
Yep.
The knocking isn't really to
There's nobody here right now. You're the
Oh.
only one who lives here full time. But
so I'm like numero uno at this temple.
yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah, you always were. You're the head Pawnite of
I
Three
didn't-
Ways.
I
It's
didn't
not a
realize
big
it.
congregation. Your services are like half a dozen,
Oh man, maybe I
It's
should go out
you,
and
Chet,
convert
and
some people.
Randy.
and
That's it.
they usually devolve into beer pong.
Devolve, more like evolve.
Beer pong is a sacrament to Pong. It's holy.
Somebody has to tend the grog buckets of pond.
There are some cobwebs. It's
Oh,
not
wow.
not looking super great.
Dad and whoever has been taking care of the place.
They have not been doing a good job of it, if they have.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't get on to him too hard. We are the laid back temple. I guess I will cast. I don't really
Mend
have.
cobwebs.
You have mending,
Can I
right?
mend the cobwebs away?
Can you what?
And mend the cobwebs away.
Yeah, why not? Sure.
Some
One of
of
the
it-
things that it does is cleans, right?
I don't know. I don't think so. It
Oh.
repairs a single break or tear in an object.
Oh. Yeah, you can mend cobwebs away. That's fine.
Is there anything broken? I'll put it back together.
Yeah, there's a couple little dings, and the whole temple has never been super high quality
Yeah,
builded
I mean,
stuff,
I
but
want-
like you've been using your mending to keep it ship shape the whole
Nice.
time.
Keep it from collapsing on itself.
Yeah, it's not so it's like poor but neat.
Gotcha. Oh, I forgot. I'm looking for them goose nights. So I bust out my little flippy phone and hey, goose nights.
Hold on, I have to get it. Hey, yeah, what's up? Oh, nope, that's not it.
Different voice.
Hello,
Cletus, kind of a Cletus, kind of.
this is what is his name even?
You can make up anything, and I won't know the difference.
Yeah, but our listeners will. Where are they?
Our listeners.
Where have all our listeners gone? No. Hey, this is Buck. What can I do for you?
Hey, meet me at the Temple of Pawn.
Oh, all right. And then you're out of words. It can only
fine.
transmit like 15 words or something.
That's enough. That's all I need. Because they're already heading to Three-Way. They're not gonna go to like Temple of Pawn and
Yeah.
Chumbawambasville.
Yep. Oh, that's an 18.
What are you rolling for?
I'm rolling for how good of a job Ear Guy does at finding the only lizard man in the entire town at the most obvious place to look for a person who has just come into town
With
for
an 18, he fails because he's so weird.
So you are approached, Karaok, by a sort of, you wouldn't call this person a dark elf. You're seeing him for the first time, whereas Fennetir is used to this character. You see an elf who is too skinny. Elves are usually skinny, but this one is too skinny. And you wouldn't say that this is a drow. You wouldn't say that this is a dark elf. And you wouldn't say that this is a half dark elf, but maybe 1/4. Like there's a bluish or grayish tint to the skin of this elf that is not among the usual hues for wood elves or high elves.
I suspect Karag typically would not make strong distinctions between
No.
different types of elves. So is it that noticeable?
The thing that's really
Yeah, the
noticeable
ear on
is
his
the
forehead.
ear on his forehead.
Aside from an ear.
But your acute ranger senses alert you when a weird person, a person has entered the inn that the rest of the people in the inn consider weird. They give him a little bit of extra space.
Right.
And so you look up and you see this character, and he is making not goggle eyes, but his eyes are not right. He's a little bit too intense in one eye and a little bit not intense enough in the other one. And he's just like looking at you in a weird way, and you're trying to write your letter.
Yeah.
And he comes towards you.
I'm gonna continue writing my letter, but like kind of passively paying attention to him, keeping my third eye on him.
Hey, friend. My name's Hobo.
Karag looks up.
Can I buy you a drink?
No.
Can
I'm not thirsty.
That is a gesture that is intended as a polite self-introduction and to signal general goodwill.
Yeah, right. Like Hobo knows how to do that.
I'm trying to be your friend. Is that okay?
We are not friends. I do not know you. What do you want?
Hi,
I am busy.
my name's Hobo. Now you know
said
me.
That.
What's your name?
What do you want?
Can I talk to you about Karen?
Karen?
Karen. Powerful being.
Have you heard the controversial word of Karen?
About your god? You want to talk to me about your god?
Yeah? Is that weird? Oh!
And his frill goes up, and teeth just... Yeah,
Whoa.
big. Right in his face.
He sort
Is there
of
any
he
acid
takes
involved?
like 3 steps back.
3 steps back.
Boom, boom, boom. Whoa!
Get out!
Bite his ear off.
If you don't talk to Karen, how are you gonna get that collar off?
Out!
Don't want to hear what I have to offer you?
No!
Freedom?
Is anyone else paying attention?
Everybody
Probably.
in the whole inn is paying
Yeah,
attention.
probably.
We're worried that you're gonna invite him.
There's a
Correct.
barmaid at the bar who's pouring a drink, and the bar is like overflowing with beer because she's just staring at you.
Does she own the bar? Who's in charge here?
There's a bartender, and
Oh.
she is in charge.
Okay. Karag turns to the bartender and says,
If you do not throw him out, I will.
Buddy, he hasn't done anything. He just wanted to talk to you.
I
Yeah,
do not
you
wish
know.
to talk to him.
You don't have to talk to him.
He's continuing to talk to me.
Do I need to call the guards? She gives a glance to a heavy-set gentleman who's standing by the door, who goes outside.
Karag sits down.
Will the gods remove him?
I don't know. Maybe both of you. Depends on if you keep the peace in my bar, then we'll be fine.
Nothing. He is disturbing my peace.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. The guy says to you,
Karag shoots a glare back at Hobo and goes back to writing.
Hobo takes one very cautious step towards you and sees what happens.
Karag's head snaps up and he bares its teeth at him.
Okay, man. Okay. I hear it. I get what you're saying. You don't want to be free.
Karag is not paying any attention to him anymore.
You don't want that collar off of you. You don't want the freedom that glorious and excellent and praiseworthy and super cool Karen, who wants to give you all whatever limbs you could possibly want to have, extra ones. You ever thought about that, anybody?
You could have had any limb you wanted and you put a freaking wheel in the face.
Somewhere across the road, Priat, this perks up.
You are not the first to make such an offer. You do not understand.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely don't understand what you desire. But at this point, a couple of farmers who are just trying to drink in peace have noticed that it began as a private conversation and is turning into a Karenite sermon in the middle of the inn. And they gently put their large calloused hands on this strange gentleman's shoulders and guide him out of the bar. And by the time the guards come in, everything is back to normal. Karag buys
drinks for the farmers who took the Karenite priest out.
They tip their elven hats to you respectfully.
Elven farmers.
It's all soy. They just grow soy. I don't know.
What a sad existence.
They eat flower petals and soy.
So, have the goose knights made it back?
Yeah. What happens is there's a flapping of feathers, and in the street outside of the Temple of Pan, 11 large geese with 11 tiny gnomes in armor with lances and packs and equipment and stuff flap down. A couple feathers float down after them. They land in perfect formation, like a perfect V shape, and start unsaddling.
Hey guys, welcome to Three Ways.
Hey, wait. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. Solid ground under my feet, says Buck.
Yeah, it's a pretty long flight. How are y'all feeling about the stealing stuff from me? Are y'all still thinking about doing that?
Not gonna lie. If we see a good opportunity, I'm not gonna say that we won't try and do what's best for my family here. But Pond's made us a pretty good offer. We're pretty happy with it. We're gonna help you find that book.
Okay, and then you're gonna slit my throat and fly off with it?
No. I don't think
I'm trying to see what Pond's bought me here.
We'll leave you alone.
Okay, let me have the book.
We'll let you have the book. We would appreciate if there's any other loot.
Oh yeah.
seeing
sure.
your way clear to maybe splitting it with us. Book's
Yeah.
yours. Book's yours. But you know,
Yeah, you'll get what Pawn offered, and I'll kick in a little myself.
much obliged.
Pawn's a god though, so he should probably pay most of the bill.
Yeah, my experience, when a god wants to pay for something, he usually has a priest do it for him.
Oh, priest. Well, good thing I'm just a lowly cleric.
Very funny. You're a humorous gentleman.
I try, I try. Okay, so my lizard man is gonna join me tomorrow, and we'll head out in the morning.
In that case, any chance they got any local brews we might be able to sample? I saw what looked like quite a party over by that the temple on the way in. Any chance we can make our way over there? Looked like
Yeah,
a good time.
y'all can go over there. Also, I think this Temple of Pond probably has got some brews going on inside. I don't know.
Yeah, you definitely you have a fully stocked uh, altar,
Oh.
as it were, and you are
So
able to
Cletus
offer
and
able to
Sean
offer them
haven't
drinks.
drunk at all. Yeah, yeah. Here, I can serve you up a few, or you can head over to old Temple of Paylor if you want. They're partying over there.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't mind cooling my heels here for a bit, but we've got to get some fodder for our
For the
mounts,
geese.
and
Gotcha.
the Paylor people are quite close to the stables where I think we'd be able to purchase that. So, if you don't mind, maybe we'll have a drink here and then go on over there.
Okie doke. I pull them 11 gnome-sized drinks and have to like clean out a few of the cups.
But not all of them.
They
Some
relax.
of them haven't been used yet. 11 people is a big congregation for Pond.
They might have to share.
I tell you what, one of them says, I tell you what, you ever seen one of them wraiths?
Great.
Yeah, out in the cloudy sea, like a dead person can't go on to the afterlife.
Huh? No, I don't think so.
Horrifying. They are horrifying. We had to do battle with one of them. Barely made it out.
Oh, was that?
It was horrific. Froze
was
my
that
blood.
near the ship that I was on?
Nah,
Oh,
no. I think we flew a little close to the depths. We skedaddled back out to the shallow regions soon after that encounter.
gotcha. I'm hoping we won't have to go to the depths on this little mission.
Well, you
The
said you
arrow-
knew where it was.
The arrow at least is not pointing at the depths.
Can I see that arrow?
No, it's not here.
All right,
It's in my head.
that's fine. No problem. And with that, let us take our 10-minute break. And we
Huzzah!
will be back to you at 9:05.
9:05.
And close down your cameras, fellas. I'm not going to actually stop the stream or anything, so if you don't want people seeing. We're on break.
You too.
That's a good idea. Josh named that character himself. Priapus, Paladin of Palor. Yes, it is. It's also Roman. Very Roman. Never mind. Look it up and then replaying all the things that Josh was saying. And your eyes will be opened. No, it's the Roman god of like gigantic erections.
Right.
The Roman version of the scarecrow was a statue of a dude with huge erection. The scarecrow burns away, and the scarecrow feeds away. Because
And God, Augustine goes after after paganism on account of well, he goes after on a lot of accounts, but one of the things he's does is he might make the same argument about actually he's like, man, gods are so lame. They can't get anything done by themselves. You need like 10 gods just to grow a stalk of corn. You have to grow one god for the stalk, and one god for the leaf, and one god for the cob, and one god for the husk.
yeah,
He's like, just so you gods are incompetent. What's wrong with you guys?
and really, what he's really saying is your gods aren't real. If they were real, one of them could make a stalk of corn rise.
Yeah.
But because it doesn't work, you have to make up another god to try again next time. Oh, it didn't work last time because we didn't also call on the stalk god.
Got to call on the erection god.
Yep. simply one force that makes the stalk come up out of the earth and makes erections. It's probably one thing, so it must be a god. Same thing happens two places, it's a god. Yeah, I should reread that stuff. It's good. It's not bad. What's up?
Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome to the Turtle Dome.
The Turtle Dome. Is that an N for Ninja Turtle?
No, it's just, people like thunder and people like turtles.
We are definitely streaming right now, so welcome back, everybody, from our
Welcome
break.
to the Turtle Dome.
This is apparently the Turtle Dome. Your source for all turtle-based news and entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
No
Turtle all the
turtles
way
are
down,
harmed in the making of this content.
We hope.
unless they're just jerks.
Some turtles out coming.
Let's
So
get
what's
started. Are we back? Everybody ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Let's roll. Sorry, listeners. Sir Robert is in charge usually of all the slick effects that you see. I am just streaming this from my rickety rig. I don't really know how to use OBS very well, but he does, so that's why you don't have all the cool, sweet pictures and stuff that he does. It's just me. Sorry about that. But we are
We
back.
still love you.
We are back in it. I hate to say this name, but Priapus, the Paladin of Palor, you are continuing to feast. You've sung around. You've given a toast. You've taken a short nap in the temple, but then gone back out to the feast. And you see some real little people, gnomes, in armor. It's funny, you don't usually see gnomish folk outfitted as armored knights in this way with the equipment of knights. But they are walking in and speaking to the Archon who is at the gates, explaining what's going on, and there's no entry fee, but they do want to make sure that everybody who joins the feast is willing to, feast to the glory of Palor, and the temple is willing to give free food and drink to anybody who shows up, as long as they're not a greasy Karenite, a pawn-loving heretic, or similar.
The Goose Knights know not to mention pawn, right?
The Goose Knights don't mention their dealings with pawn, and they're willing to say, "Oh yeah, howdy, Palor's great. Yeah, sure. I'll feast to the glory of Palor. Happy to. Where can we get a few frosty ones?" And they're pointed to the drinks tent. Grab a little barbecue along the way. It's a party. There's a elvish hoedown string band tuning up their instruments. I don't know what elven instruments look like in this world, but I think it's basically just 4 lutes.
But the lutes are just absurdly elvish.
They're Dr. Seussian lutes. There's wood everywhere.
Twisty.
Labyrinths of wood. Spirals like a conch shell on these
The sound
lutes.
takes like 12 hours to get out of there.
It is resonant. It sounds like they're playing a harpsichord inside of a great hall.
If there isn't an elven princess to leave a thread behind you, then the sound never makes it out.
Yeah, there's a minotaur at the center of this lute.
Very tiny minotaur.
Quick, send in those gnomes. Sorry. It's a great idea for an adventure. But Priapus, you're interested. These are newcomers. Part of your duty is to, proselytize a little bit. I'm trying to prompt you, Priapus.
I think he's frozen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not used to hearing that name.
I'm not either.
I wonder why.
It's terrible.
Priapus walks over to them and says, "You folk,
You seem to be short of stature, but large of character. Are
Aye.
you new to these parts? I have not seen you about.
Aye, that we are.
Well, let me welcome you in the name of Paylor to this feast to his glory. Raise a mug with me, that he might join in our revelry and his heart may be turned. And he, moves. He's used to going up, but he goes straight outwards to clink mugs with them.
They reach their mugs up and clink, and the one with the long ponytail, the lady gnome, she says, "Sir, you mentioned that his will may be turned. What are you talking about?"
These are dark times for us who are attuned to the will and the heart of Paylor. He is in a wrathful state these days, of an ill mood. We feast that he might turn his countenance to a more favorable one upon us.
Oh, wrathful. Does this have anything to do with that Kraken battle we saw just outside a few hours ago? Priapus, you have heard of this, and in fact, the first you heard of it was when Issa, your temple's sort of crazy old bearded prophet, came down in the middle of the feast and said, "Woe is us! One of the great gods' pets has been slain this day. The sin of this town lies deeply. Oh, let us feast for him that his wrath may be turned." Sort of gives a little homily on how the trade in Kraken derived levy is a blight on the town, and everybody's sort of
Oh, that reminds me. I have like levy on a stick.
Yeah, you do.
I've been carrying it around.
I believe you have probably stowed it somewhere in your temple, I'm sure, or in your shrine.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you shouldn't forget about that. It's worth a lot of money.
Might be able to pay these goose nights off.
You can,
And then some.
and then some.
Yeah, Priapus says,
Paylor's wrath was already stirred, and this, I'm sure, has done nothing to make his temper any better. So we feast all the more.
Interesting.
Shameful thing, shameful, killing the precious creatures of Paylor.
Listen, we're looking for. We do a little adventuring every now and then, and we're interested in finding out. We keep our ears to the ground, try to suss out whatever's going on locally. Is a good idea if you're in our trade, and we just want to know. You heard of this? We've got us a book, and we got us somewhere. It's somewhere out in the swamp, and we got us a lizard man who's trying to find this book. Lizard man. Sorry.
No, the lizard man isn't.
We got us a Pawnite cleric who's been going around with a lizard man, and he's
Priapus's eyes get big when they say that.
He's after this book, and just wonder if you've heard anything about that. When he says lizard man, mentioning that the cleric who's seeking the book is friends with a lizard man, you get a bolt, ka-chow, from the divine that says that lizard man is an enemy of Paylor.
I am a paladin with the Oath of Vengeance, so I am attuned to such things. As soon as they say that, Priapus's eyes grow wide, and he looks at them and says, "You gentlemen are wise to seek my counsel. I will warn you, these two will bring you nothing but the wrath of Palor. They are not the type to be consulted with or aided. I, however, happen to be a man of some means, and I could use help from gentlemen like you. You say you know where they are? Do the holy thing and put some coin in your pocket. Show me to them and help me bring them to the justice of Palor, and I shall see to it that you are richly rewarded.
You're going to need to make a persuasion check.
That's a 12 plus 2 is 14.
They rolled a 5.
Woohoo!
But
They're on his team now.
Yeah,
it's gonna
jingles a bag of money at his side.
this is not a situation where a single failed persuasion check can get you all these allies who have made promises to other people. But they do pause and they withdraw a little bit and they sort of huddle up, talk to each other in Gnomish. Yeah, I say I'm around.
Priapus leans back and whispers something to one of his cronies.
And they come back and they say, I'm afraid we have decided that there is honor among thieves, and we've probably already done enough.
Even.
I think we'd better go.
Thieves, you say?
Oh, whoops. Oh. Maybe a little bit too honest there, sir. I was a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Very happy, and may the great god Palor's wrath be turned away on this day, as we have all prayed together just now for his wrath to be turned and to no longer be subject to it in this as she's talking. They're sort of backing up and gathering up their things and stuffing a chicken wing into their jackets and sort of making their way towards the exit.
I think as they start to pull away, Priapus strides forward to the one that he was talking to and slaps the mug out of their hands and reaches out and tries to grab a hold of them by their vestments.
Oh boy.
Priapus is not a reasonable or gentle man. Kind of a jerk.
Okay, hold on 1 second. This is going to be a contested strength check.
Okay.
Ouch.
Pretty hot with the 12s right now. So that's a 14.
She's got a 6, so you grab her, I guess, by the arm or the cloak or something.
Sure.
And you've got her.
He's going to make an intimidation check, and he's going to say, "Now you listen here. You have drunk of the cup of Palor, and your lips will be loosened. Where can I find this lizard man?" So that's intimidation. It's a 15 plus 4 is a 19. And he whispered to his cronies, so they've got at least some sense of that something might go down.
A couple of the others say, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. We don't know where the lizard man is. We haven't seen him yet. We don't know. We're at the Temple of Pan. We don't know where no lizard man is." They're still.
He leans over and he mutters something to the guy and says, "Go check the Temple of Pan for this scaly villain." And he says, "In that case, you," and he looks over at whoever he assumes might be the second in command, and he says, "Your friend here has the mandatory invitation of Palor to attend this feast. When you bring me this lizard man, I will happily release him to you."
Well, you've got one of the ladies.
Sure.
Oh boy. What's gonna happen here is that the oldest, the one with the mustache, is Buck. The oldest of the Goose Knights is gonna put his hand on his scabbard, on the hilt of his sword, and it comes like a little way out, and he has to make a decision. And he backs down. He says, boys, I'm gonna stay here with my lady, but y'all go and do as he says, I suppose. If he's the law around here, then we'll and he says some stuff in Gnomish. Starts talking at him in Gnomish. And they sneak away.
Priapus marches the lady, and Buck can follow, and sits her down at the head of the table, at the seat of honor of the feast, and tells some of the other guys around to keep an eye on them. And Priapus kind of starts pacing around the feast. He's just all hungry like the wolf. He's scanning everywhere, waiting for them to come back.
The next thing that happens, I'm looking for the name of this person. Here we go. The next thing that happens is that your boss, Mikawa, the primate of Palor, has noticed the commotion and comes up to you and says, "Now, what is going on here?"
Is this another Palorite?
Yes, this is the head Palorite. This is the head priest of your organization, your boss.
Not Issa, but somebody else.
Yeah, Issa is a crazy prophet who is not trusted to organize anything. This is the one who's actually signs your paychecks.
Okay. He kind of steps aside with them out of earshot of the two gnomes and says, "I have received word from Palor. My oath of vengeance before him has been activated, and he has told me that this lizard man is a villain and one who must be brought to justice and apprehended. These two consort with one who consorts with him. I am holding them here as guests that the justice of Palor may be done."
Guy's intense.
He's very intense. He's a paladin with the oath of vengeance. Not a calm man. He has cortisol problems.
This is a most interesting development. I tell you, here's what I want you to do. First, he motions and catches Issa's eye, brings him over, says, "Issa, our young friend Priapus here says that Palor has told him directly to assassinate. Is this an assassination you have planned, young man?"
It is not for me to pass judgment. I merely know that the wrath of Palor burns against this one, and he must be brought before the justice of Palor.
Issa, what do you think about that? And Issa makes a religion check, but Issa is very good at religion. Yeah. Issa Issa looks at you, and his eyes light up, and he says, "Yes. Well, indeed. We should do as he says." And Mikawa sort of huddles you two down together and says, "Listen. We are supposed to be the forces of order in town, and the Oberonians do not look with great favor on what I would call lynch mobs. So, why don't you pick, say, 3 of your friends and go and take care of this quietly? Can you do anything quietly, Priapus?
I can do all things as Paylord deems them need be done. If you say quietly, then I shall bring his vengeance swiftly, and from the blind side.
Yes, but
There's a guy in the town that has 3 ears. He can probably hear you coming.
but with discretion. Do you know what the word discretion means, Priapus? Try not to get into a fight with the guards.
Why would the guards defy the will of Paylor in this very city? Clearly, this feast has summoned his attention and his blessing, and we have the opportunity to rid this city, to rid the cloudy sea of the very thing that irks Paylor in his heart.
I see
One
that
who defies him.
I see that your studies have not been very strong in the civics department. What I'm doing is I'm giving you permission, but I'm telling you that you're doing something illegal, so don't get caught.
Well, why didn't you just say that? Yes.
Because
I'll
it's
take care of it.
illegal for me to say that.
Well, then don't say it. Leave me
I
to my
tried
duties.
not to say it. Vengeance Knights. Ah! And he goes off. I'll have no more of this. Take care of it on your own. I never said anything that I said. I didn't say it. I disavow all knowledge.
Priapus turns and he gets his 3 most tunnel vision focused. He finds the 3 other Oath of Vengeance paladins. He doesn't get the regular guys. He gets the guys who are the true believers.
So you don't you don't have access to other paladins. You've got some lay workers. You've got some, the janitor, the blacksmith, some of the fellas, some of your good old boys network, as it were. But other paladins are not willing to take part in this.
In that case,
Should
he
tell you something.
he deputizes them to the Oath of Vengeance for this purpose, and get some weapons for them when they head out.
You've got some sticks and things. The camera's going to lift off, and we're going to ask Karaok what he does directly after he has finished writing his letter. You had a strange encounter with a Karenite in this inn. But that's over. You finish your letter. You pay the postage, and it is behind the counter, safely at the inn, and ready to be taken off
Okay.
with the next cart.
He'll probably pay a little extra, just for
Grease
extra
grease the
security.
palms a little bit.
Well, no, not just greasing the palms. Like, don't let this. Make sure this goes through.
Mm.
I'm paying you extra.
Okay.
Um. Yeah. So after that, he's probably just gonna go. Yeah. There's a weird three-eared man who is trying to recruit him. And there's a temple to Palor. So he's probably gonna just go outside of town and hide in the woods. You know, do his ranger thing. Hide in the woods, bed down for the night. Sneak out there so that no one knows where he is.
Okay. Yeah, make me that stealth check.
And since he is about to take a long rest, might as well use that last spell slot up. Cast pass.
Gas pass.
Cast
It's passing gas.
pass.
Priapus, go ahead and make me a charisma check for your asking around town after this lizard man.
Okay.
Is this what kind of? Is this for? Would this be? Do I have favored terrain? Oh wait, never mind. Doesn't matter. Sorry, keep forgetting.
This would be urban or possibly forest
Yeah.
for whichever your
Yeah,
terrain
it doesn't
type is.
matter. It's a dex check.
I mean, this contested
32.
roll. Yeah, this is.
I got a 32.
Okay, yeah. The story, Priapus, the story that you hear on this day as you rove around town asking as discreetly as you know how after the lizard man, the story you're able to put together is that he came into town, he wrote a letter at the inn, he gave a package to one of the innkeepers. There was a confrontation with one of the weird Karenites, and then he left the inn. He's not staying there tonight, and literally nobody can tell you anything about where he went. They saw him leave, but then nobody outside on the street saw him after he exited the building.
Okay.
Stealth roll of 32 is practically invisible.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
that's
mean, I think
that's the story that you put together.
he's furious and he starts accusing people of harboring, but eventually his little cronies are like, dude, he told you to be discreet. He's like, ah! He goes stomping off in fury.
Fennetir, a couple of the Goose Knights come up to you and they're like, hey, we got problems. We got trouble. Something's going down.
Why'd y'all get in trouble?
Do you know trouble?
the-
Trouble just seems to follow us wherever we go. It's not our fault that we are always getting in trouble everywhere. I don't know. I wish that... Okay, but listen. They got Buck.
My mama always said that if trouble's always finding you, then maybe you're trouble.
I mean, that's fine. Okay. But listen, they're holding Buck and Darlene up at the Temple of Palor. They're not letting them go. And a couple of us came to fetch you, and a couple of us went to fetch the guards because we're pretty sure that's probably not legal. So we're gonna... I just want to let you know that something's happening, but we're gonna go back there right now and see if we can, get them let go. But I just want you to know that, your lizard friend is, I think there's some kind of like lynch mob out for him. He is
Well,
not
that ain't
in
legal.
he is not in the best graces of the Palorites right now. I can tell you that.
Okay, I would like to go to the Temple of Oberon
Okay.
and say, knock on the door.
Okay.
Hey, Oborons.
This
I'm
is
just
like
joking.
the Temple of Oberon is in basically like the city center financial district,
Yeah.
rich people's houses. It is spick and span, marble, cedar, paneled walls, like incense in the air, really nice paintings and stained glass and everything very expensive and nice. But you don't have to knock to go in to the church. But
Gotcha.
if you're gonna
Well, I'm looking for the big dog.
the big dog,
Yeah.
well, there is a priest who's sort of on duty in the sanctuary who you can talk to.
I walk up to him and say, "Hello, friend.
Hello.
Are
What
you
can I-
aware of this Palorian lynch mob running around town?"
Palorian lynch mob?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I can't say that anything like that has reached my ears.
Well, it has now.
Who do they want to lynch? The ruffians.
Well, it's a good friend of mine, so I'd like some help making sure that it doesn't happen.
Surely you would come to the guards first.
Well, I've sent some people after the guards, but I thought maybe you pull enough water in this town that. And I know the Palorians are always talking about how they're afraid of you guys.
They probably are. They would be wise to fear us. Our organization
I
is
thought
very
maybe if we
strong.
put together a few guys who were, ready to.
Roll me up some persuasion.
Gotcha. Persuasion. I say, oh, pawn, give me the persuadance. Isers. Ooh, I got a +1 in persuasion. 13 plus 4. Woohoo! 17.
He says, well, I can... What does he do? What do they have? They're not going to send a paladin to take care of this minor police matter. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm friends with the sergeant, Sergeant Billiam. I think he's on duty right now. I'll go and have a word with him and make sure that this gets taken care of in a way that justice will be served and nobody will be hurt. How does that sound? Oberon cares even for degenerates like you.
Well, I thank you.
He sort of goes to maybe pat you on the shoulder and then reconsiders. Okay.
I don't blame him.
He gets an acolyte to stand in his place while he goes and runs this errand. What are you up to, Priapus?
So is this nighttime or is this morning? What time is it right now?
It's getting on towards the evening. But after you've, what I'm asking is directly after you go around and ask a bunch of people stuff and you find out that nobody has seen head nor tail of this lizard man since he left the inn. What do you do right after that?
I think he would start trying to look for the guy that the Goose Knights said was their contact to the Lizard Man. He'd start looking for this priest of Pan. So he'd probably head over to the Temple of Pan and see because he told somebody to go check out the Temple of Pan. So it wasn't too long ago. So presumably they'll be, standing outside, kind of casing the joint.
Yep. There is one of your thugs is standing across the street from the Temple of Pan. There are 11 geese tied up. And that's what's there. From the outside, that's what you can see.
Interesting. I think he would probably walk up to one of the geese and snap its neck, and then go run off and hide at a distance and kind of peek around the corner and see what happens.
Roll an attack roll.
Okay.
The goose's AC is not high.
That's a 17 plus stuff. I take it that's going to be enough.
That's going to be enough. You don't even have to roll damage.
I'm rolling a great sword that does 2d6 damage. So
That's not how you snap a neck.
Well, he told me to. I think I was saying this cinematically. Like I figured I can walk up to a goose and snap its neck. But if I'm going to have to do this in the most effective way I can, he uses his sword.
These are like if you were in a combat situation, you would have to fight these geese for real. But I think that because they are tame and they don't suspect you, you're able to pull this off and kill one. This is one of the places where the D&D rules kind of fail us. You can't cut somebody's throat in their sleep very well,
right? Sort
of thing in D&D rules. And I think this is a treacherous sneak attack on this unsuspecting animal. So yeah, you're able to snap one of their necks.
What do the rest do?
Does a 18 hit your armor class?
Yes, it does. I only have AC 16.
There. Well, you take 3 points of damage from one of the geese that, like the goose next to it, they're all tied up. But as soon as the goose next to it sees this, it pecks you incredibly hard. Bow! They're beefy animals. They're bigger than usual geese. And it gives you a real serious peck attack.
Sure.
Right in the preface.
And then he hightails it out of there.
The geese are fluttering everywhere like crazy. Like they're trying to fly away, but they're tied up. And
oh, no. He's going to cut their lines as he's running away. Yeah, he wants mayhem.
Oh. Okay. How many pecks are you willing to take while you're doing this?
I'm willing to take a few more. Yeah.
You cut one line. Peck misses you. And this opportunity attack Peck hits. Take 3 more damage. You want to cut another line?
Yep.
Oh boy, yeah, no, that's a 19. That's going to hit as well.
Okay.
4 damage. These geese are rolling really well. You're getting pecked a lot, but you do cut.
He's had enough, but he's cut a few lines.
Yeah, you're able to cut 3 of the lines.
And he tries to he's going to make an intimidation check to try to run off the ones that he's cut loose, and then he's going to skedaddle.
You try and scare him.
Yeah. That's a 14, 10 plus 4.
Yeah, you're able to boogada-boogada-boogada-boo them, and they fly off.
These are battle geese.
And then he runs off.
Yeah, but he just murdered one of them brutally, and they're freaked out. And some of them are tied up, and some of them have gone away. But 3 of them fly away in a bunch of feathers flying everywhere. Let's see. Yeah, what do you do next?
He's going to get out of sight and around a corner and wait and see if this priest of Pan emerges.
What happens is that 2 geese knights come running down the street, and they freak out. They see the dead goose and the geese that have flown away, and they start calling for their geese. Hey, here, goose, 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 goose. Come here, Bessie, Bessie. Come on back now. Trying to, and whistling and trying to get the geese to come back. They try to give medical attention to the dead goose, but it's too late. The neck is broken. What was your stealth check?
Oh, you didn't have me make one yet.
Well, go ahead and make a stealth check when you hid.
19 plus 2 is 21.
I gotta look up what these goose knights stealth is, because they rolled a 19 as well.
Well, I got a 21 total.
Right.
Oh, you're looking at their bonus.
I gotta see
Gotcha.
what their bonus is, because, yeah. Come on. Where did I put that?
Geese knights.
Okay. Well, we'll use this.
Do the lady geese
Oh, yeah.
knights ride ganders?
Probably. They do not find you.
They
They're looking around like, who could have done this? When I get my hands on whoever did this, I tell you what, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be real bad. And they go and they get their lances, these 2, and they harness up 2 of the remaining geese, and they fly up into the air. They
All
start
right.
shouting, "Goose Knights! Goose
So
Knights,
he does
ride!"
He does not see the priest of Pan emerge, so he withdraws and think probably tries to, he knows the city. He's going to backtrack to whatever the closest major crossroads is. That's like a block or 2 away, but that if he's going to be approaching the Temple of Pan, he's most likely to go by that area. But he's a couple of blocks away, so he's got plausible deniability.
I'm sorry, where are you going?
He's going a couple of blocks away, but he's going to be watching the kind of traffic that flows through the city towards that part of town.
Okay.
The Temple of Pan is surrounded by small houses with twisty streets.
Yeah, it's not the best place to be able to view it from a distance. Go ahead and make me a survival check to find a spot.
Yeah, not great. I mean, that's a 7 plus 0, 7. Just a 7.
Okay, so you're sort of trying to wait in ambush or something like that to try and scope out the Temple of Pan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fennetir, what happens is that you and some guards go over to the Temple of Palor, and these squirrely Palorites pretend like they had no idea what was going on. Oh, I don't know anything about holding them hostage. Maybe they misunderstood some of the words to our songs, some of our rites. I'm sure that nobody here would have laid a hand on them. Of course not.
So they can leave.
Yeah. Yeah, the guards are like, listen, I don't know what's going on around here. but everybody's got to obey the law just the same. Doesn't matter what your god tells you to do.
Even if you're having a big old feast.
Even if it's in the middle of a feast. Just keep your people in check, Paler writes. Oh, yes, sir, of course. I know how these young people can get their fiery passions, and we encourage that, but it can sometimes get out of line. I'll have a talk with some of the young men and try and get them to calm down a little bit, maybe. Will that satisfy you? Etc., etc. Yeah, but just as you are exiting,
Your love of bureaucracy has made you weak.
as you're leaving from the Temple of Palor and their sort of general area, you see two of the Goose Knights are flying in circles, and the other Goose Knights see that and they take off running for their where their mounts are at the Temple of Pan. Are you going to follow them?
Me?
Fennetir, you're with them.
What do I know about
You've been told by some of the Goose Knights that somebody took Buck and Darlene, and that they're threatening.
Buck and Darlene are now free?
But you went and got help from the civil authorities and got Buck and Darlene set free. But now you're seeing that there's sort of the Goose Knight bat signal is going on, which is Goose Knights actually on their geese flying, shouting stuff like, Goose Knights ride! Goose Knights assemble! Come on, guys, we gotta get up! Etc.
Yeah, I'll let them do their thing. I just head towards the nearest inn.
Okay. What you see, Priapus, is some other Goose Knights run past you on the way to the Temple of Pan. Some more of the gnomes. Buck and Darlene are with them.
Man. Okay. He curses the interference of Karen in these holy matters. He's sure that her dark and conniving ways must be responsible for these lawbreakers, these associators with known enemies of Palor must be behind this, and so he beckons his guys, and they head back towards the temple to see why these two have been released.
Okay. All but 4 of the Goose Knights. So that would be 5 more of the Goose Knights mount up and are now flying. And you can see them flying all over the place. Everybody in town can see the Goose Knights with their lances, and the geese are flying around all over the place, looking for the lost geese, and etc. As you go, who do you talk to? You talk to your guy when you get back to the Temple of Palor?
Yeah, he comes charging in and immediately addresses him. He tries to compose himself, and he says, "Why, pray tell, have these known associators with an enemy of Palor been unceremoniously released? Justice has not yet been served."
Listen, I thought I told you that we have to be discreet. Taking prisoners at a big public feast is not discreet. What am I supposed to do? Start a pitched battle with the guards? Maybe we can have a war with the Oberonians right in the middle of the city. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I'm sure you would love that. Go to your room.
Oberonians. What do the Oberonians have to do with this?
Oh, Oh, what do the Oberonians have to do with this? They would just, wouldn't it just put a grin on their face to have one of ours put in prison for lynching somebody? They would love it.
Who said anything about lynching? I merely mean to bring in to justice. Do you mean to tell me that you will defy the will of Pelor merely to placate these mortals? Why do we feast if not to receive word from Pelor himself, not to have our enemies deliver?
Sorry, guys. Looks like I froze. Hold on a minute. He'll be back soon.
There is one.
Hey, are we back?
I can hear you.
Nice. He says, we can do all that, and we will do it. We will serve justice, but in this, we have to be discreet. If you can, take care of it outside of town, where no one can see. Didn't you say that they were going on some sort of quest or journey? Why don't you follow them?
Indeed. Well, then I will have to find them. And I have had no luck so far. The lizard man has disappeared. His slippery little scales have helped him fall out of my fingers.
And it is at that point, with our episode about to close, that the white-bearded prophet Issa comes to you and says, you said something about a book.
Yes, they were seeking a book. They were hired to help this lizard man and this priest of Pan find it. It is somewhere in the swamp of sorrow.
Stupid goose knights.
It just so
Did
happens.
they tell him where it was?
Yeah, they were drunk.
The Goose Knight?
Plied them with liquors.
They were trying to reconnoiter, and they just played
Yeah.
all their cards
Oh.
in hopes
I
that
thought-
they
I thought they stopped short at revealing the
No, they said
destination, but
cards.
no.
They're just real troublemakers.
I think we should leave them behind.
So Issa, the last thing that he's going to say to you before the episode closes here is Issa is going to say, I am a powerfully sensitive divine. And that book, I've known exactly where that book is for years.
Priapus's eyes get real wide.
End of episode.
Bye.
I love
We've
this game.
let's see about experience. Give you guys experience.
Could use some of that.
Yeah, let me bring up my thing. Where is the player characters list? Here we are. You weren't in this episode. Karaok, did you take any risks to help your friends or shipmates?
I got Fentir safely to 3-way.
You sure did. Did you advance your personal quest? I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I got the information back to back home.
So I'm going to say 3 experience points. Those 2 and the secret one. And also, did your attitude towards fate complicate your life in a meaningful way?
I think so, because I think at this point, Well, if it weren't for this whole mess with Paylor and Croc's, and sort of the unresolved issues related to the star and his, and his agreements with Finitier, I think he would probably go home. And he probably wants to go home because he's probably sick of all this nonsense and these
Yeah, but you
crazy
told him
people
you're
out
not
here in
going
the
home.
cloudy sea. But
Yeah, but what does that have to do with your attitude towards fate, which is that you're already dead?
well, no, and that he has he has to he still has this responsibility to his people, and so he can't. Going home would be a risk to
Okay.
to
Yeah, sure.
to his people, that he can't bring Paylor's attention back to them with him, so he has to resolve that before he can go home.
Cool. Take a fate point then. Fenetier, did you take any risks to help your friends or shipmates?
Yeah, I went and talked to the Oberonians.
He does think you're pretty dirty. Sure. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. Is there any special way
You
that
don't
you
sound
helped?
very excited about that one.
I mean, it wasn't much of a risk. Is there any
Okay.
special way
I
you
don't-
helped in the hunt for Enma the Silver Squid? I don't think
Definitely
so.
not.
Did you advance your personal quest? Yeah.
Not really. Well, I mean, we're closer to the thing.
Yeah, you're journeying towards the thing. Yeah. Did your
Got the
attitude
good
towards
quest.
fate complicate your life in a meaningful way?
No, not really.
I don't know what you would even spend fate points on out here anyway.
Yeah.
So also you get a point for the secret thing.
Ooh, the secret thing. Woohoo.
I mean, I think you guys are going to get the secret point like every episode. Because
Is it just don't be on the ship now?
no, it's not quite that.
I think I know what it is.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching this episode.
Hey, Priapus totally advanced the cause of his god. He advanced a personal quest. He took great risk to himself. That's got to be worth at least like 2 or 3 experience points.
Priapus can have 2 experience points.
Yes.
He needs his level times 4 experience points to level up.
Just 10 more to go, baby.
Okay. Okay, that's all for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us for this episode. Tune in this same time next week for another exciting episode. And remember, failure is beautiful.
Which you will do in the name of Paylor!